Welcome to Practical Privacy. Today we're going to look at the challenge of how to actually achieve privacy by design and by default in practice. And I have Cristina Costache, CISO, Global DPO and AI Council Chair for Noventiq. Welcome, Cristina.
Thank you, Orla, for having me, and good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you are.
So this is definitely something that's going to resonate with everybody. Maybe talk us a bit about your challenge, where, a little bit of context around your situation.
So I want to talk about the privacy challenge that I see in almost every organization, and of course this includes my current organization and the organizations that I worked for in the past, is turning compliance from a artifact into an operational capability that actually scales. And it's about the gap between written compliance and lived compliance, especially in complex, multi-jurisdictional, tech-heavy organizations. And that challenge is, as I call it, the sometimes elusive privacy by design and by default. We keep trying to solve privacy with documents, and I see the real problem being an architectural one. Most organizations struggle at privacy not because they don't know the rules. I think by now everybody knows the rules. They struggle because system teams and decision-making structures are not designed to support privacy in real-world pressure. On paper, things look fine. Policies are there. DPIAs are completed. ROPA is there, and sometimes actually updated notices are published. But in practice, privacy breaks because products move fast, data flows cross borders, AI and automation came into the picture, and multiple teams share responsibility, but no one owns the decision. So I see privacy working when things are slow and predictable, and struggling when things are complex, urgent, and ambiguous. And this is exactly what matters the most, and this is exactly the world we are living in.
Exactly. There's not too many organizations where we can say it's slow. So talk me through what you did initially.
So what we did initially is do more of the same, more policies, more training slides, more approvals routed through legal DPO office or the privacy office, depending on how the organization is structured. These approaches didn't fail maybe because they were entirely wrong. They fail because they don't scale. And they assume that people have time to read the tons of documentation that we are preparing and sending and sharing. The teams will escalate early, and the decision happens actually when it's calm. In reality, teams bypass controls in order to deliver. Yes, so the pressure coming from the business, privacy becomes a bottleneck, and risk is accepted silently but not consciously and knowingly. The impact, privacy turns in the department of no, and trust erodes internally long before the regulators actually get involved.
Yeah. And it's not an easy one to overcome. So how did you guys manage to do this?
It was a change of mindset. Instead of asking, do we have a policy for this? We started asking, how does privacy relevant decision actually happen? And that meant embedding privacy decision into product delivery life cycles, user life cycle, employee life cycle, all the life cycles that should exist in a company. And if they are not, they should be defined, because privacy comes as a glove on something that it's already defined and should be defined. We align privacy, security, and data governance into one system. We have defined clear ownership and who decides and when, and maybe one of the most important thing, what is the minimum required information or needed information to actually take a privacy relevant decision. And we measured operational health, not only compliance check marks. So privacy stopped living in the documents and start living and seeing being actionable in workflow systems and roles. This isn't perfection, but the decisions come faster, are clearer, and surprisingly more defensible because we have more documentation on our decision-making process and then on every decision that was taken that had a privacy component.
Okay, wow. So if you were to go back again, what would you potentially do?
If I could go back again, what thing that I would do earlier is design for pressure, not for best case scenarios. I would design paths before designing or writing the policies. I would involve engineers and security from day one, and I would assume mistakes will happen and build resilience around that. Because a privacy program that only works when everybody behaves perfectly, I see it as a risk.
Not sure that exists, but it's the dream,
Yes,
no?
yes.
So one piece of advice that you would share with your peers, Cristina?
It's something that I learned from engineering and cybersecurity. Is design privacy programs like you design systems. Assume complexity, assume speed, and assume failure, and build structures around that hold when these assumptions are tested. This is how I see privacy stops being a checkbox and starts becoming a foundation for trust, both internally but also externally with the customers and the regulator.
Okay, excellent. I've no doubt this is going to resonate, and so many people might be reaching out to you afterwards to get more insight as to how you did this.
Please do.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and a good day to all.
So that's it for today. So if you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe and share. Until next time.